Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I think, is create a rearing pose whereby I'm imagining a bit of the animation whereby the spider's going to be moving forward. Something's going to startle it, and it's going to probably move back previous to the last or the first step. So very snappily jump backwards, and then the body is probably going to crouch down a little bit, crouch backwards using the body crouch control. If I show you what I mean, I'm imagining I'll sort of move it back and down, so it's sort of pushing away. Obviously, trying to avoid the abdomen squash there. But what I'm actually then going to have to do is have the front legs rear up as well, defensively, as spiders do. So let's get on with that. What I'm going to do is create this from the last pose at 30, which obviously is the same as frame 1. So I'm going to go into the timeline, and that will be our starting point. So I'm going to, for the sake of clarity, copy all of the frame 30 frames. Copy Adam, okay, and put those at frame 40 for now. And then what I'm going to need to do is extend this out. I think I'll make this go to 60 for now. So at frame 40, we've obviously got the same as at frame 30. Although we've got a little bit of movement, which is caused by the F curves. But that's okay. So at frame 40, let's start posing it as if it were defensive. So I'm going to move the crouch back and down. I'll sort that leg out in a minute. I'm just going to keyframe that there. It's quite useful to be able to step down to that to see what happens. I really do need to get rid of some of these F curves because they are a problem. Okay, so straight away, that there is not what we need. I think we're going to find it also on the legs. So I'm not worried about the abdomen tip as such. Let's have a look. Frame all. Yeah. Let's just do that one. Key. 0 angle. Okay, so it's on the Z. That's left 4. Frame. Sorry, key 0 angle. The apparent clumsiness you're seeing, by the way, when I tap on these, it's not entirely my fault. I don't quite know what it's doing. It's on my Wacom pen. It seems to be activating some kind of double click when I click on the tablet. So I don't know whether the tablet has reached the end of its useful life or whether something's got messed up in the settings, but it does tend to make some of this quite difficult because it double clicks on things, so it opens and closes at the same time. That's better. Right. Oops. Key 0 angle. So hopefully that should have lost that. Yeah, that's better. Right, so at 40, we crouch down, maybe we can go back a bit, that'd be quite nice. And then I'm going to need to alter the movement of the leg, obviously, to accommodate the abdomen. Yeah. So what I'll do at the same time is move that leg out, if I can, left, where are we? Right, 4. So what I think we'll have it do is go wide. Not sure how that's going to work. What I could equally do is have it lift up in the middle. It's quite good, it's like it's anchoring its position. In fact, it might be better if it moved back as well. Yeah, that kind of works. Probably do the same with the other back leg actually. So left full control. There we are at 30. Let's move wide. Don't think it needs to move back anymore, maybe bring it in a little bit actually. And at 35, we'll have that lift up a little bit as well. Yeah, that's quite cool. Goes backwards, bink, anchors its position. That's good. Right. So that's the first stage. I'm going to see if we can do anything with the other legs as well. Probably not, that's enough. Although maybe we should bring that front leg back as well. Maybe part of the way back anyway. Yeah, and then at 35 we'll lift it just a little bit. That's nice as well, because what you're getting there is a little bit, whereas the walk, when it's in a full motion walk, it tends to be completely synchronized, foreleg, you know, all doing the same synchronized movement. Obviously when spiders are moving much slower, then there does seem to be just a little bit of randomness to the motion of each of the legs. So I'd like to do a bit more with that actually as well. On this particular pose I shan't. I shall get it to a position where then I want it to rear up. But I might do some slower motion moves where it's sort of treading a little carefully. And therefore what we will do is tweak the walk cycle into being slightly out of sync, which will probably look more natural. Yeah, I like that. In fact, I think I might lower the body further and pull it back a little bit. Look alright. Yep. Yeah, I've got a bit of creasing there in the abdomen. But I think once the displacement map's on there, rounding it out, that shouldn't be a problem. In actual fact, I can always move the abdomen back as well. Let's do that. That's better. Yeah. Of course, we've got the mandibles doing their wacky IK thing as well. I think I'm going to turn the IK off on those for now. So they just move into place. That's cool. Actually, what I'm going to do there is move this leg and move that back out of sync as well. So obviously at 40 it's moved back somewhat, just kind of anchoring itself down further. 35, put another one in, lifting it slightly. Actually, it would have been nicer if I move that keyframe forward. Let's go into the timeline and edit that. Which leg were we on? That's the one. Right 3. What I can do on that is move those ahead a couple of frames. Same with that actually. Move that a frame one ahead, or one frame ahead rather. So they fall into place at slightly different times. I'm going to speed that up even more. Let's just grab those, move them both. In fact, let's do that there as well. See what that's like. That's nice, got snappy. Let's maybe want to do that with the front leg as well. Subtle, but it does make a little difference to the perception of the random timing. Hang on a minute, am I moving the right one? Right front. No! Oh dear. Right, okay. Left front I wanted, which I should have known by that. Let's just do it with that bit actually. That's enough. Okay. Yeah, that's nice. So it's got to a pause position, it's crouched itself down further, and so I think I kind of want to hold it for a few frames, and then maybe, well, I'll add the lifting of the legs now, and I can always reposition them further on. So right front we want for a start. Has to be kind of probably not. It's not going to work so well with this because of the length of its legs. That's quite nice. There, and then left front I'll do similar placement. Oops. I'll make it exact. I'll do. Yeah, I think probably as well it'd be nice to have a little bit of additional. In fact, this is where we can animate the mandibles, so let's put a keyframe at 35 maybe. No, do it at 40. And let's see what we can do with those. No, that's related to IK, so let's just put one in there, one in there, and at 45. Be nice to raise them both. Oops. Oh, of course I've got IK turned off. So there's another thing at 40. Let's keyframe the IK. Holding down the command key there to add a keyframe at that point, and then at 45 I'll have the IK on, keyframe that. So in actual fact that probably will be all we need to do. Although I've already set the controllers. That's a bit messy. Let's move it a little bit to the side. Come to the paws, rear up the legs. What I'm going to do actually is put the IK back to I'll keyframe that in. That way we get a little bit of that jiggle movement. Although what I'm going to have to do there in fact I'll do it there. Let's put the same value in. So in the walk cycle they're just slightly moving with it and they straighten. Okay, so let's have a look at that pose. Turn the controllers off. Yeah, that spider kind of means it. I wonder. Got moved ahead for some reason. Now we're going to have its legs move as other legs move into position when it does that. What would the other legs do? Probably not a lot. That's probably okay, really. I think I might have its abdomen doing something else in that position. Yeah, it probably would lower its abdomen to sort of protect it, I guess. That might be quite cool. Let's stick that in there. Maybe that takes a bit longer. Or maybe not. Actually, what would be quite nice would be to have it come down into position. I think that's a little too far, actually. Yeah, that's more like it. Bob up a little bit again. Okay, let's do that from a... Let's turn the controllers off. I just noticed that in the movement where the spider stops and rears up, that the foot goes below the floor. So I just need to tweak that. Where are we? In fact, what I'm going to do is move the timeline into a more permanent position so I can see both the viewport and the timeline. Yeah, basically as the spider crouches, the leg obviously goes with it. So it looks like one of the others is going below as well. Maybe an F-curve issue. Look at that. Zero angle that should stop that going through, yeah. Okay, let's look at the front right leg. There we go. Yeah, ouch. Just have a look at that again, close up. Yeah, it's better. Cool, right, I'm going to save that as it is. Oops. Just move these around. Now the other thing I'm going to add now is an animation layer, because I'm going to create some jiggle in the mandibles, so they look like they're jittering around. And I'm going to use the animation layer function for that, which is very useful. Let's switch to the motion system. And basically I add a motion curve, or motion tag rather, to the controllers. And then in the attributes of the motion tag, I obviously have the default layer, and I'm going to add a second layer, and another one. Yeah, what about that one? Okay, so layer 0, I'm going to add the mandible movement to that layer, and I'm going to do it from frame 0 to frame 30. And I'm simply going to use the, just move these down. I'm going to hold down the command key on the Mac to move these. I assume it's the control key on a PC. Just allows me to move them wherever I want to. So, okay, I'm going to erase the IK, FK data that I put in. That's not going to help me at the moment. I need that removed so I can do the retraction of the mandibles. So I'm going to do a control click on the Mac to show attribute, and then I'm going to do again a control click on that area there and do delete track, which gets rid of that keyframe, and I can then put that up to, or put it back to 0 rather. Okay, so from 0 to 30 we're going to create some random mandible movement. Okay, so it's basically going to be doing this throughout. So let's add a keyframe. Command click on both the keyframes, markers. To frame 2, I'm going to go straight to 70 on that one. Frame 4, or yeah, 4. On this one I'm going to go to 89. Frame 6, I'm going to go to 96. 7. Oops. Notice I'm staggering the movement of each mandible, so they're kind of working independently. I'm also going to alter the sort of distance and time that they travel at. Let's do that one there. Get that all the way back to 100. Move the leg. as well. Quite nice. Right at 30, I want that. Oops, back to 100 as well. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that's kind of okay. Twitchy. Okay. Right, so now with any luck they've been saved to the so you can see I can actually alter the intensity of that. I need to do some tweaks on these anyway when they move up because they're not quite right. So make sure everything else. Something I need to change, which if you remember I did before, where I extended the length of the stride of the front and rear legs. It was a bit of a short-sighted moment actually, because obviously when I get this thing moving and I actually want it to track along the ground, the front two legs or the middle two legs will slide because they're not all moving the same distance at the same time. So so I obviously need to alter that. It's a good job I saw it now really. So what I'm going to do is try and push the middle legs a little bit further. At the moment I think they're moving 140 units in total, 70 back, 70 forwards, and the front and back legs are moving 210, so they're obviously stretching an extra 70 units, which will cause problems. So I'm going to try and actually move the middle legs just say 10-20 units more each, and then I'm going to obviously have to bring the front and back legs back to the same amount. So I'll start with the left 3 control. That's at its 0 position. In fact, what I might do is do this in the F curve, because then I can just move them without altering actual curves or adding actual curves by putting new keyframes in. We want the left 3. Let's move this up. And we're only working with Z. So let's just select the Z frame. Actually, no, I'm going to do it in the key editor. I'm going to put the keyframes in and just get rid of the F curves. I think that'll be the quickest and easiest solution really. Okay. So, if I move, how far does that go on the furthest one? If I move an extra 10 either way, that will take their movement up to 160. frame. Same there. Okay. It's only up to frame 30 I've got to worry about because that's the walk cycle portion of the animation. Right, left 2 control. Move that back 10 as well. And I'm going to do the same obviously with the right 3 and 2 control. Move that back 10. Hold the shift to constrain it. 15, move that forward 10. And finally 30, move it back again. Right, 2 control, out 10, that's that, those 2 legs, they're made 20 units longer. And now we've got to shorten the front and back again. So right front. So currently we've got that at 210, and I've set those to now 160. So I've got to take 25 of each. Okay, what I might do is just take 20 up there. And 30 up there. Whoops. Start moving and then constrict. No, that's going off on the wrong axis. Just turn these off. 30. Okay, I'm going to do the left front while I'm here as well. So, bring that back 30. 15. That's got 20. I'm not sure I did the final keyframe on the other one. Just make sure where they both are. 437. 277. 140. Oh, that's wrong then. Right, yeah, I haven't moved that one back. Or forwards rather. So in the back, they're currently at 210. So I'm going to leave them stretched out the distance. I'm just going to make them come back less far. Let's go back to right 4 control, actually left 4 to start with. So I've got to take 50 off. I'm going to move that 20 in, keyframe, 15, and move that 30 back. 20 again. Okay. So, right 4 control. In. 30 back. Hopefully now they're moving the same distance, if I've calculated correctly. Of course we'll find out when we start trying to make it move on the spot. That'll be the defining moment. Let's have a look at that in motion. Let's get rid of the F-curve data. Okay, let's move this up. We're going to open up all our legs again. Obviously less to do with on a biped. On a hexapod. 8 legs to do with. Okay, so first of all, I'll actually do the Y and the Z motion, because any F curves on the Z motion will cause a slip as well, which is not what we want. Let's just do that for a start. Yeah, so as before, what I've got to do is go and zero these keys. I'm going to do that on all the Y's first. Oh, actually, let's just make sure what I'm doing there. Yeah. Do that one. Either way, I shouldn't go below the line. Okay. Okay, going to go back through and do the Z's. Oops. So I'm tempted on the Z motion to actually zero the or change the F curves to a linear. What's that? Missing. Because there's a good chance that even a slight curve in those is going to also mess with the motion when it's walking along. We'll just see how it goes with those for now. I don't want to make it look robotic, which it kind of will if we take the F curves out. But equally, a spider's forward backward leg movement probably doesn't need, particularly at speed, doesn't need any dampening or curving to show an ease in and out of the motion. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to tweak some of the keyframes distance from each other, spread things out a bit and give us a bit more room. Just going to point that up to 240. So, and what I'm going to do is move the crouch keyframes and rear away from the walk. So I've got a bit of space between them all. So walk ends there. And what I need to do is add the last keyframe of the walk cycle, so it kind of freezes the motion. Let's just look at that a bit clearer. What I'm going to do actually is to separate where the spider rears up from the actual crouch down, so that I can have a little bit more distance between those. Okay, so I think that's basically those ones. Should have included that last one, I think. So that's frozen. I'll have to write that up and alter some of the keyframes that I moved. do is move that all to 40. End on 65 for now, just for a reference point of view. Oh, it did anyway. There we go. I'm going to create a final pose, which is the going to be the spider leaping forward, which in the animation I plan to have the spider leaping towards the camera. So I'm going to start that at frame 70, and I'm going to start it from the end of the walk cycle again. Oops. Okay, although I've got a crouch going on there, I don't want to use the same one. I want that to look a little bit different when I have it leaping. Okay, I'm going to save that as it is. Okay, let's get back down to right. Obvious one to use will be crouch, which obviously I can move quite a lot, or within reason. In fact, what I'm going to do is I am going to use the keyframes from there, because it will save me some effort. Both of those actually. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's expand that again. Going to move all this onto one. Yeah. That's it. Okay, so from there, I'm going to add another 5 keyframes. From there I'm going to make the body crouch, go back and down further without going underneath the ground. legs in. Just going to turn off the Y control. Oops, all the way around. To look at it from the viewpoint it's going to come from, really. I need to move the front legs back. Okay, hold that there. So all the keys on 75 need to be copied to say 80. Whoops, I'll do that. And from there, let's say 85. We'll have the body crouch. mandible, or abdomen rather. Maybe about there. Front legs. Need to be out once again and up. Maybe not as much as that. So about there. Should make them wide as well. There. Going to go to a side view on that one. Going to keep that roughly the same. And also, I'm going to lift the right 2 and left 2 up. And out. Has to go in a bit. Bring it down a little bit. Go to side view as well. Do the same with the left. Roughly. Look at the front. Yeah, notice we've got some F curves again, obviously in the transition, that we'll need to remove. Do there as well is move in the right and left legs. Right and left 3, I mean. This creates a bit more tension. Not sure about the abdomen at the minute. Probably bugs down a bit too much. In a way, I should switch between IK and FK for the leg motions on this, so that I can actually alter the bending of the joints more directly. I don't know that I'm going to do that yet. I might do it, but if I can just stick with using the IK on it, I will for now. I think that'll have to depend on when I set up the camera and see how it looks. Keyframe the legs at the wrong point. That's 2 and right 2. Is copy those. Oops, not all of them. Copy those keyframes. On those. Copy those to there. In fact, I might copy them to there. Actually, no, I will. So it's got a bit more of a staggered movement. And the final part of that leap will be, I'll actually animate the movement of the entire rig. I should create a null and put everything underneath that to animate the whole motion of the spider anyway. But obviously at that point, somewhere around there, it's going to leave the ground and go straight at the camera. And then I can add any additional keyframes if there's any more movement needed in the legs at that point. Obviously something I've got to take care of again is the mandibles, which I'll do in some kind of aerobics, which I don't want it to do. So that's where the FK, IK is going to have to be keyframed out. Right, I'm just going to refine the movements on that leap a little bit more. What I want to do is have the leg there moved further back. More in line with the other one. Just find right 2 control. Don't between there and there. Let's have it raised. Which is more natural. Again, gonna have some more F curves to delete. Y movement again is the primary concern, since it's the motion below the floor. And as you can see, we've got a few moments where it does. These are just between the two motions actually, but oops, that's it. It's undone it and done it up again. So. Yeah, I can pretty much just select all those. What's going on there? That's going below anyway. Oh yeah, I must have moved it to there. Let's just go back to the. Let's move that back up. Just make sure that's 0, as all the others are. Yep. I will keyframe it again just to make sure. There we go. Okay. We got some slippage on the Z movement again. So let's look at the Zs. All the legs. Doesn't make it much clearer. These are the crucial points, I think, on this one. Control. It's got some slip on the X as well. Should probably have that actually keyframed so it lifts at that point. Okay. Let's right 3. Doesn't need those, and they can be zeroed. So I need to move that up. Okay, hopefully that should be sufficiently cleaned up. I think it is. Let's turn the controllers off. Just makes it a bit easier. Okay. Let's save that as walk 3. Which is cool. Just go around making sure that it's all oh no, that's where I screwed up. Whoops, what am I doing there? Just added a keyframe to nothing. I think that's where I deleted a key and I shouldn't have done. Let's get from above. So on that leg there, switch to key mode. Frame 75. Still a bit too close, isn't it? Okay, so 75. So that's alright, now it's been updated. Okay, save that again. Right,